You are now listening to Feeding Off Each Other.
Welcome to Feeding Off Each Other, the weekly podcast where we feed off the talent, humor, knowledge, and awesome stories of our guests and each other. I'm Matt Dennison, joined as always by David Slavid Wiggins, always slang, and to his left, Jason Gagging Lucas.
Oh.
I'm going for the gagging again. I tried gag-worthy last time, it didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you're gagging right now.
I am gagging.
I know you're a big fan, so.
I am, actually, yes.
Oh.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for this episode. I'm really excited.
That's good. Let's just get right on into it.
I want to get into it.
Yeah, no small talk for this one, okay? All right, I'm going to rip the intro. Hopefully I don't mess this up. Here we go. Today's guest is a well-known drag legend from right here in Vancouver. You may have seen her gracing the covers of magazines, slaying a runway, or dominating a stage, or you may have seen her on season 4 of Canada's Drag Race. From learning about the show in 2017, she went on to becoming a contestant in the show in 2023, where she not only competed, but made her story as the first Indigenous winner. Mothers, brothers, chuthers, please put your hands together for Venus.
Wow! Who wrote that? That's great.
At ChatGPT.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. Jason, of course, gagging Lucas over here.
I'm gagging.
Yeah.
Well, that was nice. Thank you so much. Hello, y'all.
Was it accurate, the most of the intro?
Yeah,
Okay,
I was
good,
like,
good.
oh, magazine covers, plural.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to get on that, but no, thank you. Very, very lovely.
Well, they usually print more than one of the magazines. So
Correct.
it's just been
True.
one issue.
This is true.
There's more magazines.
more magazines, more covers.
First of many, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I think you're the only one who's been on a magazine cover. Jason, any magazine covers in your day?
I've been in the back page of a magazine.
Yeah.
No one ever really saw
The classifieds.
The classifieds. I was
Misconnection.
selling something, actually. Yeah, misconnection.
Well, congratulations first and foremost on
you.
this crazy life you're living.
Yes, it has been wild. So surreal. Just, I feel like I've grasped it now. It's
That's
been about 2 months.
This is good because we've been listening. I've listened to a couple podcasts of yours, and the answer was, I haven't
Like,
grasped
I don't
it.
know what's happening.
Yeah, I haven't grasped it. I need to, get a grip of this.
Yes.
So now it's settled.
the grip is there. The grip is strong.
Strong, firm grip.
Yeah, I took a little vacation to celebrate with the homies.
Wonderful.
And then I was like, okay, started missing the drag. And I was like, I think that's a sign that I'm ready to get back to it. And I understand, what's at play here.
What does vacation look like for Venus?
It's not very relaxing.
No?
This was not, I was like, oh, we're going to like R&R. No, it was party.
Good party. This was Mexico, right?
This was in Mexico.
Whereabouts?
Puerto Vallarta.
Puerto Vallarta. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, because everyone's just on vacation there, so there's everything is happening at all times.
Not a lot of relaxing, though. I mean, like,
No,
what is that? You're not working, though.
not working, but like I was very surprised that. Puerto Vallarta is very notoriously like gay friendly, and yeah, I was just like, even like the bartenders that like are from there like were recognizing me, and I was like very like. This is so trippy. Like, this is, and like so cool, like, I don't know how long this is going to last. Do you know what I mean? Like, how long people will remember who I am. But you know what I mean? Like, in this moment, I was like, oh, this is so cool. Yeah, no, it was great, but not very relaxing at all. So I'm still waiting for that moment.
So what is getting drinks now as famous? Can I call you famous? Are you calling yourself
Gay
famous?
famous. Gay famous. Gay famous.
Yeah, what's being at the bar now, being gay famous now? Is it like you get free drinks? You getting
Free
like
drinks,
perks?
yeah. 2024 is all about no shots.
Oh.
No more shots.
Smart.
Thank you.
We talking cocktails then?
I'm talking cocktails.
Oh, okay.
I'm down to double fist, triple fist. Like,
Triple
I'm down to
fist.
hold. Cup, like copious amount of cups. But shots is off the table. So yeah, no, that like, like bartender's like, oh, I'll get it. Blah, blah. I'm like, sure. Mexico, just like living my absolute fantasy out there.
But avoiding the ice, right?
Oh yeah. You don't want to.
You gotta
none of that
watch-
hepatitis.
yeah, you gotta
don't
watch
want
that ice.
Gotta watch that ice.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, a little late.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Little
All right,
late.
never mind. Then it's
We
fine.
all felt the ice. I will tell you that much. There was a 3-day period, 3 days between the 2 weeks where I was like, you know what? Yeah,
Something's happening.
Something's off.
Yeah.
But it's Mexico, and you can get every pharmaceutical under the sun there. So
That's
you
true.
know,
Good
it
pricing.
was great,
Yeah.
just great.
Now, what's the drink of choice?
Double vodka cran with soda.
Double vodka.
Ah, healthy.
Yes,
Yeah.
flush it out.
Flush it out, exactly.
Antioxidants in that cranberry, I think.
That cranberry cocktail.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's just no sugar. You know.
Do you have
Lots of sugar.
a trauma around shots though? Like when I say tequila around Brooke over there, she just
Yeah.
really vomits.
I mean, I think we, you know,
yeah, you and Brooke have a little bit of history.
We have a tequila history too there, and that wasn't even the end for me, but I kept going. I just think, you know, when you do an espresso martini and then a glass of red wine and then a shot of tequila, that's
Dear
just
God.
like too many uninvited guests of like unfamiliarity that just should not be in the same room.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I feel like I want to pace myself. It's all about pacing is a huge word for me this year.
Did you find now that you're more well known in the global sphere, like when you go to these public places, you're like, oh, I gotta like watch out what would I do? Like I can't just you know go crazy, or is it no, whatever?
It's Mexico.
I'm like, no, well, a little. I think I'm more just aware of other people in general.
Yes,
Do you know what I mean?
yes, for sure.
But it's not really like that here. It was super fun there because everyone's there to like vacation. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's just like, woo, like, you know, no one's carrying their like everyday troubles or whatever. But like being back home, it's like, I don't really get a lot of, it's not as much, I would say.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But maybe that's just because there's like so many gays in one concentrated area in Mexico that it's like hard to avoid. But yeah, no, I mean that whole thing is great. Love, you know, it's a cool experience. But there's some times where it's like, I have been talking to people for an hour and I just want to dance. I just want to dance.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
My friends are like, this is really random.
That you're so much
That it's just so much, like everywhere we
much.
go, you know?
Yeah.
The end of the pod is going to be the same feeling probably. Talking to people for an hour. I just want to dance.
Like,
Fortunately, there's a
I
dance
would,
segment at the
you
end.
know, I was having a time like in the bathroom in Mexico. I was like really drunk. And someone's just like, oh my God. And I was like, right here? Right
Oh
now?
no.
Over the stall? Not over the stall, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm like, we're shitting and pissing here. Like, I don't know if now is the time to be pulling out the camera.
Oh,
Like,
God.
hey.
I just need to
My
disclose.
eyes are like,
You're like, I had the ice earlier. I'm fucked.
ah. Yeah, someone passed that. I don't even know.
I need to disclose to the audience that our guest today is not wearing the headphones, and so they don't know
we can't hear the
about
sounds.
sounds. But Jason's killing it over
Sorry,
here.
I was playing some fart sounds. You were talking about the bathroom.
Oh.
It was a wet fart too.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
well,
you're missing
not
out.
far off, friend.
Yeah.
Well, you're hitting that ice.
Mexico happens, you know?
Howdily dood each other, nation. You love the show, you love the pod, you love the boys. Well, why don't you support us by purchasing some of our merch on mahalamaido.com.
That's right, Matthew. We've got the finest selection of t-shirts, stickers, and hats you've ever seen. Plus, we even have feeding off each other sticker packs so that you can proudly show off your love for the show on a mug, laptop, your dog, your mom, whatever.
And as a special gift to you, our beloved Chuthers, we're offering 10% off your next order with the code FEEDING. That's right, head to mahalamaidude.com and use code FEEDING for 10% off your next order.
And now,
Back to the pod.
So, friend of the pod, Kendall Gender, she's
Correct.
visited before. She is your drag mother.
Yes.
What does this mean?
What does this mean? Historically, a drag parent is someone who in a lot of ways is someone who like paints the person for the first time is usually what it is, but it's also more of like, you know, it goes deeper of like showing this person like the ropes, right? Just like how to get into hair and makeup, I guess like any performance like knowledge or, you know, what not to do. Like Kendall has a lot of what not to do's from her, you know, her life. And I've learned a lot from her and just like her being. And then sometimes it's not that deep. Sometimes it's like, sure, you're hot. Love the way you perform. Be my drag child. I don't know. Like you don't always have to put them into drag. But really it's like a, you know, it's sort of like a chosen family of sorts.
A mentor.
Yeah. And yeah, we laugh about like the face that she like somewhat put me into for the first time. It was very not what you're seeing now. Very
you said
alien Spock woman that we actually ended up putting a mesh covering over my face because that's where we ended up with the makeup. We were like, you know what? Don't know if this is her, but we tried.
mesh over the face.
Yeah, like a
A judo mat?
Like a veil.
Yeah, like a veil?
Oh.
No, like a full like fishnet stocking that I put over my face.
Oh, okay.
Just to add like an element of fashion
Fashion.
and distraction.
No way. After you won the season, you went to what was it, a convention or something like that, and you wore the diamond full bodysuit and mask.
Yes.
and you couldn't see 1 inch of your face or body.
Work.
This is insane.
Now, like, was this planned? How long? Like, did you know you were gonna wear this weeks in advance? Or?
No. I decided that the night before because I wasn't gonna get into the UK until 8 in.the.morning. And had to be at the venue for 9. So I was like, I just won like last night. So
Right.
I'm going to take this moment to have my diva moment and just be like, none of you get to see my face. I'm not stressing. I'm not getting into drag. I need a moment. It was honestly really nice because that was one of like my, you know, one of my hit pieces from the show that a lot of people like resonated with. It was also just so nice because I was so overwhelmed with what was happening that I didn't want to look anyone in the eye. I didn't want to like, I just, you know, I was just like, oh my gosh, I just like need to like have a little bit of a barrier for today.
I mean, there's no proof it was even you. It could have been Dave in
Oh,
the
it could've
suit. You
been-
could have just hired him.
Oh,
Could've
that
been
would've
anybody.
Amazing.
I guess
Maybe it was.
Yeah, maybe.
Dave!
He's been practicing on his work.
That's how I move most of the time.
Yeah.
Call it the lava lamp. I'm just kind of.
Well, that's a pretty boss move. I love it. That's
It was a hit.
I
It was a
gotta,
hit.
I gotta come to work like that, so I don't have
very-
to look any of you fuckers in the face.
Very Lady
Nice.
Gaga. You know?
Very, very, very drama. But what a fun way to like introduce myself to the world. No one gets to see my face. And then I saved it for the next day. You know, there's a thought process.
That's a bold choice. That's some celebrity shit. I love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Lady Gaga, let's get into that. Okay, we know that you met Lady Gaga years ago.
Yes. Yeah, I met her. She has not met me.
Oh,
Let's say that.
fair
I
enough.
see.
Can we pull this up? Is this okay?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Read out. Okay. She's a real little monster. Lady Gaga is dwarfed by her giant fans as she steps out in flat shoes and a pair of tights.
Jesus. So this is the Daily Mail.
Just kind of dragged her with that headline.
Yeah.
Flat shoe dwarf lady in a pair of tights.
Tiny troll meets giant man. I believe it says.
But you know, there's foreshadowing there. Yeah. I'm wearing a crown.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm wearing floral. And my finale gown had floral lace. It's a reach.
Yeah.
It's a reach.
Meant to
But
be.
you know,
Destiny, yeah.
at first I was a princess and now I'm a queen.
There you go.
I see.
Yeah, that was an interesting moment.
Yeah, tell us about it. How did that happen? How did they go down?
My friend is a professional celebrity stalker.
way.
Has met like, you can name them and they have met them.
The Rock.
Okay, maybe not The Rock, but like Jake Gyllenhaal, FK Twigs, I don't know.
Mark Zuckerberg.
No, like actress and you know what I mean? Okay, and maybe not everyone, but they have some like connection to like I think there's like a handful, less than a handful of paparazzi in Vancouver. And he just knows one of them. And we just were getting all the intel. And I was at a college interview and I got word that like, oh my gosh, she's coming. And yeah, like the interview ended right on time, and I just like booked it downtown, and minutes later she walked out, and I love this. I love her. I think perhaps she was in a different space in her life where, I mean, I don't know, but she just didn't seem fully present. And that was made aware when she had said, "Do you want to take a photo or what?"
Oh, shit.
And we were like, "Yep,
You should have said that over the toilet.
yeah, oh yeah, literally." It was just such a, and this was literally one of the very first moments in the world that she was wearing flat shoes, which hence the headline. So things were definitely off. You know, we're like, what's happened? Who is she? But I got my photo.
Man, that is some kind of life you got to live to be like called out when you wear a flat shoe.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Well, that's news.
Yeah, she kind of did that to herself.
And how did that become headline-worthy news? A photo of just a fan with Lady Gaga.
I think it was just that. They were like, oh my gosh, she's actually short. She's like not. It's like, well, yes, she's been wearing 8-inch platforms for
Every time you see her.
I guess it was like 2-3 years at that point. And I'm rather tall. I don't know. Well, the paparazzi friend was there.
Yeah.
So that's also how.
Yeah, that's what
You know what I mean?
There's a connection there. So,
But my mom said that to me is how I found out about that article.
Oh, really?
Oh, no way.
She's an avid Daily Mail reader. And she's like, is this you? And I was like, yes, that is me. That's interesting.
Yeah, we said no. That's not me. There's someone who really looks like you in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay, so knowing the story is interesting that she wasn't, maybe all there, but because I thought it was like a long encounter. Because isn't there a photo of you guys hugging?
Oh, it was rather pleasant. Like, I mean, the photos are just stunning. Like, I think perhaps I am seeing it differently. I don't know. I was also like, we had been camping out all night, underslept, had an interview, but it just seemed off. Because we remember her driving away, and we remember her turning around, and we could see her turning around from the back of the car, and it was just so weird. But I loved
Someone
it.
in Mexico is telling the same story about you.
Yeah,
There she was in the taxi.
Turned around and she just had this blank stare.
Yeah. Well, maybe you'll be cast to be in one of her music videos or something.
But I love you, Lady Gaga.
Oh,
As each other, for sure.
You too, I guess.
Yeah.
Not really, but
And yeah, no, she is. I'm very excited for her. I think there's a new album on the horizon, so stoked on that.
And she's in the Joker movie.
Yes, I can't wait to see her become that character.
Who is she becoming?
Harley Quinn.
Oh, really?
Yep.
I did not know this.
And it's a musical.
Oh,
Yep.
The new Joker's musical?
Yep.
The first one was not.
Yep.
I don't hate musicals.
yeah. I don't know how I feel about musicals. I don't know.
I've come around on musicals.
I really liked. I just saw The Color Purple, the new one, and that was really great.
What about Mean Girls? Isn't that a musical? The new Mean Girls?
The new one.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah, and they try to. There's a thing where they try to hide the fact it's a musical in marketing because
Right.
people think there's enough people that don't like musicals. They're trying to just get everyone. But imagine like you sit in the theater and you're like, wait, what? Just start singing.
Yeah. So what's the most iconic Lady Gaga outfit, and why is it the meat suit?
It's not.
Oh, it's not? Okay. Well, that's the only one I remember, to be honest. But
I
I'm
mean,
sure there's a few iconic ones.
that surely is quite iconic. I really actually liked the look she wore coming into that night, which was the Alexander McQueen with the like feather mohawk.
Of course.
Where she was walking with like the, was it Don't Ask, Don't Tell?
I don't remember this. Can we pull it up?
There's something about there's something about her face that night that was just so. It was before Born This Way, so there was like I don't know, there's still like a hunger for the fame. I don't know, there's something there that was really, really interesting. Loved that look.
Go back through the Rolodex of every look
I know,
Lady
I'm
Gaga
like,
has ever had on her body. But our favorite look, Brooke and I, of you on the show, I don't know if I'll describe it though, but it was like the flower on the head. It was like that daisy or something. Oh, you have it pulled up. That was fast.
Gaga inspired.
Yeah. Wait, who was that? Was that? Oh, that was you. Okay.
There I am, just.
Huh?
I'm just exhausted.
Oh, is that supposed to be? Oh,
Oh, this is Mexico. Okay.
I'm wilting. Yeah, this is Mexico in the bathroom.
I thought it was a photo.
No, this was actually, I remember watching that video for the first time. It was with all my friends, and we were like, we were gagging when. Shout out to Fernando, the drag series, who shot all this content. He is absolutely legendary. But yeah, no, I really wanted to take like the Gaga hair bow, which is, she had like in the beginning of her career, she did like this blonde bow made out of hair. And I just always love that. There's always some sort of like connection to Gaga in a lot of things that I do. And that was one of them. And that was like such a cool piece.
So those pieces, you're planning them before the show, right? Like there's some idea, you know.
Yes. You obviously have to prepare
Yeah.
for the show, before the show.
Right.
But it's called Drag Race. It's not like I can't specify, but it's not like you get a lot of time to prepare before the show.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's
no, that
not
makes
like
sense.
insane to say that, no, you have to do some prep beforehand because the things you're making are insane.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't
So
make that
really
overnight
the
on a
race
production.
begins then, kind of.
Right.
Right? You know what I mean? Because you only have an X amount of time to prepare, and that was one of the things that I prepared for.
Like knowing the show and you know, season 4, was there certain strategies you had picked up from watching other seasons of like efficiencies or things the judges might like? Did you bring any of that into account?
Yeah, I wanted to. I mean, I think we're at a point of Drag Race where you've seen so many seasons, you can understand what is to be expected, especially when it comes to the challenges. It's like, I don't think that's like a weird thing to be like. It's not like you get there and you're like, sewing?
Yeah.
Huh? What? It's like, okay, well, it happens every time. So it's like, those were definitely things I was like, okay, acting, sewing, dancing, singing,
Impressions.
like those impressions. It's like, these are things to expect. So it's more like when you, as an audience viewer, when you see people who, I'm not saying that you have to excel at all of these things, but when it's like, oh, I've never thread a bobbin before, it's like, well, why? When you knew that this was coming. So I definitely took that into account, where it's like, I learned how to thread a bobbin, and, you know, regardless of what people may or may not think, I did hem those looks. They were hemmed, and I knew like, no matter what, it could be, it doesn't have to be the most extravagant thing that I've ever worn, but it will be hemmed, and there will be no, it will look clean. And that came into my favor, because if we recount on like that first design challenge, that was one where there was a small group of us that were not doing well, and I was really just banking on other people not doing well or doing worse than I was doing.
I think like one of the biggest things is just star power alone. And let me blow some smoke up your ass for a bit. I thought you had it in the bag for like early on. I'm like, I don't want to knock anybody else on the show, but like, I was like, how can they not have Vitas win? Like, it was like a couple episodes in, I'm like, Vitas is gonna win. Like, just looking at the group, I'm like,
right.
That's where, I mean, now there's a lot of brands involved. Brands want to get behind you. I'm like, that's the person that they want to put all their nickels behind. And I don't know. I don't know if you ever had the feeling early on that I might have this in the bag. I might actually be able to do this. No, it was uncertain.
It's so when you're there, it's like
Could be anybody.
You're just am I okay? Like, am I actually okay? You can't properly see yourself because it just like it's such a surreal experience where you're like you don't know. You just don't know.
Yeah.
That's
But then
by
watching
design,
it
too.
back, I was like, oh, okay. Obviously, like, there's so much footage and there's so much that does go on. But like, I felt like they did represent, how the show actually happened when we were there. But yeah, no, there's no way for you to ever know.
Yeah. I mean, you put it a good way when you say like you can't see yourself.
Yeah.
And do you ever have
And you can't see other people.
Right.
Can't really see like in some challenges you can't see what they're doing or like what they're saying in confessionals.
Right.
You don't know if they're really who they say they are.
Yeah, it's so easy for me to be like the armchair expert and like Venus is gonna win for sure.
Yeah.
It's by design though, right? Like those shows or these shows, the producers want to keep the contestants in the dark so that they can kind of.
Right.
I almost feel like you must have felt like you're losing your mind in there. Sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
overthinking everything.
Yeah. And I'm so good at that. Love to overthink. Love to like be like, I'm doing terrible. And then I'm like, oh, because it just feels, when you actually are not. I just prepare myself for the worst, I guess. But yeah, they know what they're doing, right? It's a slightly distorted reality because, without giving too much away of how it all works, there's so much that goes into it that you don't even realize. And yeah, they want to say that magic for television where it's like, there's a lot of alone time too, right? Where,
Of course.
you're disconnected from the world. It's a known fact that we don't have our phones. Like, you're just very like, when have we as, modern day humans been off our phone for like X amount of time? And you're just like, oh, wow, you really just have to sit with yourself. And that can be very uncomfortable when you're fighting for this like huge, huge prize that will change your life.
Well, you learned on the last pod, being on ice.
Yes, I see. I
We already learned this, so
So yeah,
that's interesting.
stay away from the ice.
Yeah. Yeah, so you're told when and not when you can like,
Hard ice,
talk
soft
about
ice.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any fear that because you say you can't see yourself, but you also not only can't see yourself, you don't know how they're gonna edit you. Do you have a fear like, oh man,
my
I might
God,
be the
yeah.
villain. I might they might turn this into a weird story on me.
Yeah. Yeah, like that first episode. It wasn't even the first episode. There was a preview and they put in the clip and I knew as soon as it came out of my, like the words left my mouth, I was like, fuck. They got me. Shut up! Got me in the hot mic. And that's when I said, I was like, Aurora looks like, it looks like roof tiles. And I went, knock, knock, knock. And it was like which I did not know, but it was like a cultural reference. And anyway, she was not hurt by it. I told her before when I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get dragged for this. And it really wasn't that bad. But it was more people like, bitch, you're wearing like a piece of floss. And you're trying to be like, her outfit seems, I don't know if I can curse on here. But,
Please.
oh,
Please,
okay.
please.
And I was just, whatever. I said what I said, right? I was just, but when I saw that, I was like, oh no, is this going to be a storyline? Like, am I going to be like Venus versus Aurora? And I mean, it kind of did end up that way anyways.
Yeah, a little bit.
But I remember when that happened and I was like, I'm not doing that again. Because yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean that's always like a fear for people on reality TV. I guess you just don't know. Even if you're a good person, they'll find a way. In editing, there's a way to turn you into whatever they need. Right?
Well, there was Aurora specifically and Denim, shout out. They journaled everything.
Oh.
I'm like, where do you find the time? You're not exhausted? Are you not like petrified?
Yeah.
You have time to write everything out? No, babe, I don't have time for that. But like, so I went home being like, you know, as time goes on, I was like, what did happen? Who was I? Like, you start to forget.
Right.
You know, I'm like, there's been so much time that I'm like, I don't remember. And I think I was more scared of seeing like who I was, even though I'm still that person, you know, seeing like a former version of yourself is just I was just so scared. But shout out to the editing team. They did honestly such a fantastic job, not just to myself, but to everyone. Like, there was a lot more tears than were ever shown. But the show's not about crying. You know what I mean? The show's about like queer celebration and like competition, getting to like showcase all that. But there was so many tears that I was like, oh, thank God. Because we were all a mess.
We want the director's cut.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
What was it like, you know, you finish the show, you wrap shooting, you go home. What were those kind of first few days after getting back like?
Just very like, so exhilarating, so exciting, just like shaking and just, you know, being like, wow, this is really happening. I think for the first episode, you know, having the honor to lip sync in that moment and like lip sync for the win versus like, you know, there was no fear behind that. It was just like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm here. All those lights are going, all those haptics are happening. And I'm just like, oh, this is so cool. Like you feel like you're just in like VR of some sorts. But yeah, as the show, you know, going back to, you know, our hotel room, you're just like, I'm just like, I can't control like my energy. I'm just like, oh my gosh, buzzing the whole time.
This guy, yeah, I mean, it's probably like Lady Gaga. She plays a stadium and then she goes back into the dressing room and there's no one there. And it's just like surreal. It's like, how do you just go from like, 50,000 people or whatever to like nothing?
Yeah.
The silent, but there's still noise in your head. And it just doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Oh, the voices.
And you want to keep going.
You're right.
Because you're just like, I just want to keep playing the game.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it is a game, right?
Feels like the good version of when you have a dream that you won the lottery or something, and you wake up and you're like, nah, I didn't win.
Yeah.
But you won.
Now I've won.
Yeah.
Many moons later. But in that moment, it's like, you know, there came a point where I was starting to get like, I was getting feral. Like I was like calculating every little win that everyone had, and like the beaver and the mini challenges. So I was like, I need this to justify this. And like, I was like, you start going, the longer you're there, the crazier you become. But that's where the magic happens, I guess.
We have this clip of you reacting to your win. Can we watch it back with you? This was a pretty powerful reaction. A lot of emotion here in the room.
Is this the live?
This is at the Queen Elizabeth Theater?
Yeah, the Playhouse Theater.
The Playhouse Theater. And Brooke was
Going to
have it
pull
up.
it
It's
up any
not
moment.
on- there we go.
Revamping. Rewind to beginning. Refresh page.
It's voice
There we go.
activated.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jason. And unmute that, please. There.
Winner of Canada's Drag Race season
Good timing.
4.
Oh, you can't hear
I
it.
can't hear it. Oh my gosh. Oh, my mom. So cute.
The air horn. Wait, was that there or you, Jason?
And Mira. Her Botox.
Look at you shaking. Holy. That is like,
Amazing.
Oh, that's Tommy.
like how can that not feel like a drug, you know, when you want more of that feeling?
Yeah, it took a minute to come down from that one. Oh my gosh, all that anxiety leaving.
All right, I'm going deaf. This is loud. This is very loud.
So special.
People are absolutely going crazy.
That's Jaylene. And that's
All
Sean.
right, mute that, Brooke. Oh, God. People are very
So
excited.
so funny. Like my big head like behind me being like, oh, I'm so happy.
Yeah,
Like behind the screen.
they're still playing the show.
Yeah. And I didn't rewatch that for like, it had been like weeks later where I was like, I actually hadn't even seen what all of that looked like. Because
Right.
I was just like, oh my God, it's happened. I need a moment. But yeah, wow.
Do you even remember what your first thoughts there?
Oh,
when you,
I
was there some relief? Was there?
so much relief.
Did,
Just like, yeah.
did
like,
your head go to something in particular? Were you thinking about, I don't know, family perhaps, or was there something that you knew that this would equal to, or?
I just was like, I don't even know. It was just like, I kind of just like went into like the void a little bit and was like, I'm okay. I think was like the general feeling was like, oh my gosh, this has happened. Like, it's all been worth it. Like,
Yeah.
it worked really, I can commend myself on that. Like, worked really fucking hard to get to that moment. And like even after all the show, like the content and all that, like that is such a like, if you want to go big and make all that time and effort worth it, I was like, I have to leave my mark on this platform and like, go so hard. So it was just like all of that being like, and also being like, I'm fucking debt free, bitch. Like,
That's
everyone gets paid. Hey.
Yeah.
So what, you want 100K, was it?
Correct.
100K, you want
Courtesy of
Tax-free.
Shoppers Drug Mart.
Courtesy of Trojan.
Oh, it was
Pleasure
Trojan.
products.
The products were Shoppers.
It usually the grand prize switched.
Oh.
And when I don't know if I knew that, but when I was watching the show, I was like, oh, if you know my brand. Anyways, Trojan and me just go hand in hand.
Oh yeah, we know your brand.
So
We'll get into it.
when I saw that, I was like, well, that's another fun sign that perhaps it could be me. But yeah, no, shout out to Trojan. Thank you so much.
Yeah, 100K. You said you were debt free. What were your debts?
Everything you saw on the show. The wigs, the shoes, the
Fabrics.
the looks, I mean,
That's not cheap.
not cheap. Had so much fun spending the money. Like, that was so fun. Just in a short period of time. Just like, oh, I know my credit card number. I know that much. Off, like, that was exhilarating. But then you do it all and you're like, oh, I really hope that this is worth it. Because Drag Race is expensive.
Yeah, so if you don't win the show, you're just kind of, good luck in making that money back.
You just, yeah.
You gotta send
You have
it.
to hustle and, hope for the best. And that's where, your personality also comes in, right? Like, that's also a huge moneymaker. Like, you can be extremely talented, but if you're not personable, are people going to want to work with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta be likable.
But that was just one of those things where I was like, I had all my debts like in a notes app, and I was like, thank you.
Very
But
nice.
That's awesome.
And now I'm in a place where it's like, okay, well, it's no longer $100,000, but it's still a great chunk of change, and like sort of took my little vacation period to decide, what's next? How do I build off of this momentum in this moment?
So how do they give you the money? Is it a giant novelty check? Are they throwing singles in the
I
air?
wish, wouldn't that be so fun?
Or is it just a boring TD?
Oh, it's just a wire transfer, honey.
Oh, wire. Oh, that's
Which is pretty cool to wake up
pretty
the next
cool.
day and I was like,
no paper. You don't have something to
I
frame.
can afford this bagel. Oh my God, look,
So
you
many
guys.
bagels.
I remember I was in Whistler when it happened. And I was with all my friends and I was just like, enjoy it, girls, because this is going to go down to, 90, 80, 70K real quick.
Yeah.
And we're all just like,
So it was 100K. 100 because isn't it?
no, tax free, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's only America. That's
Prizes.
Canadian
Yeah,
law.
so you win $1 million on Survivor, and you can walk home with like 500,000 or something.
You know what? That's pretty.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah, but
I
the
mean,
whole
Survivor's
thing is
pretty
like
intense,
$1
no?
million. You win $1 million.
Yeah.
Seems
I would
misleading.
do Survivor. Hey.
Oh, we would Burke and
That'd
I
be
are huge
awesome.
on Survivor. We'd love to see you.
Wait.
I would not survive.
Would you do Big Brother?
But you could out with.
Maybe. Maybe.
Yeah, that one seems...
The house,
Yeah.
it's...
Big Brother. Oh.
I would want to do... I feel... Well, what's interesting is RuPaul's original intention for Drag Race was to make it like Big Brother meets America's Next Top Model. Like it was supposed to be in living quarters. And I'm really into that idea.
America's great. America's Top Model. They had like an apartment. They didn't show them in like the bunk beds and stuff, but they would go out to do the photo shoots, right?
Yeah.
Man, that was a great show.
But could you imagine that with drag queens?
I think it'd be awesome.
That
So
would
much
be
entertainment.
chaotic.
Exactly. In the,
The
best,
best
way.
way.
Yeah, the best way possible.
Like I would love to see something like that.
Yeah, well, just maybe you guys can share the Circle House or something. They already got it all
Right,
set
never
up.
seen that.
Just put really, just put some new wallpaper up or whatever, and it'll go.
Dun 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 dun.
Yeah. That'd be good.
I'm curious about your roots in comedy because there's a big element of comedy in drag.
Right. Yeah.
And we heard a little bit that you grew up in Manitoba. Is this correct?
No.
Oh, okay.
My family's from Manitoba. My father's family. Red River Métis out there.
Well, we heard that your father put you into improv courses. Is this correct?
Yes. My father and my uncle, they surprised me on I believe it was my 12th birthday with improv classes. And I was in a room with I was definitely the youngest person there. There was, I think the average was like 16, 18. And yeah, it was just like a place to fuck around and learn what it means to say yes in every context and just have so much fun. And I did that for a couple of years.
You enjoyed it or?
Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it so much.
That's funny that you get for your 12th birthday classes. It's like,
Yeah.
you're going back to school in a way.
But this is fun where
Yeah.
you can
Classes.
actually
Yeah,
focus.
that's
Yeah.
a great gift.
Or
That
not,
is good.
or lack of focus.
That is a really good gift, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that really. My uncle is an animator. He created Ivana the Yukon, or helped create. Ivana
No
the
way.
Yukon. Yeah.
Is he absolutely devastated that all those episodes are lost now?
Are they?
We were
They're
just talking
all
about
lost. Yeah, they got burned down or somehow.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
They're lost to time.
Yeah, Yvonne and the Yukon doesn't exist anymore.
There's some on YouTube,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
the one.
yeah, wow. Yeah, no, I would spend days at Studio B with my sister, and they had a studio theater that we would watch unaired episodes of Ivana
Oh,
the
wow.
Yukon.
That's like the ultimate Canadian.
It's so Canadiana, and that a few of those characters are based off of family members and extended people that he grew up around. So just he lives here, and just being close with the uncle that is the creative, he's the youngest of the family, sort of the rebel. In some sense, I mean, he's drawing fucking Ivana the Yukon.
Yeah.
It's so silly. So yeah, that really was the catalyst for just wanting to get involved in the arts.
So who is the funniest person in your life growing up?
Oh my gosh. Well, definitely my Uncle Mo and my dad. Yeah, we would just always doing little skits with each other. That was sort of the jam around the house. VHS.
With camera.
Yeah. But those all got stolen. Who the fuck steals that shit, man?
They stolen.
Yeah, house got broken into and someone just was I'm taking these tapes.
Oh shit. Oh.
Fuck your memories.
It's a wild
It's like
move as a burglar.
Pam and Tommy
I know.
story.
It's this one doesn't seem. I mean, TV's right there.
Yeah.
But TV's
Too
right
heavy.
there. But
They already stole that. They needed something to play on the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been fun to look back at all that, because I would always play the mom. I would always play the sister. I was always playing always kind of doing drag, I guess. And my dad was like, yeah, sure. It was never, well, boys don't do that. So I feel because of that was also a huge. It allowed me to be okay with expressing myself in the feminine.
That's do you ever watch Kids in the Hall?
No.
It was this Canadian sketch comedy show, and it was only like it was 4 or 5 men, and they just played every character. So they would play women and men,
Right.
And so that was very common on that show.
Yeah, I'm very common within like, you know, Greek theater and
Totally.
times past.
So you have a very good sense of humor that came across on the show. How much of that would you agree?
I
Did
would
you think
agree.
you were
Yeah, no,
funny on
I
the
was
show?
fucking laughing. I was like, oh my God, I say the stupidest shit.
That's good. I mean, yeah, I love the
the
little.
proof is in the pudding, and the pudding tastes like shit. Love that one. That was good.
I love like the acting kind of sketches. I don't know.
Right, yeah.
Those are my favorite.
Me too.
Like drag in general. Like we didn't touch on this. We had Kendall Jenner on the show, and we got backlash. Like, why would you have a drag queen on the show?
Oh.
Because we respect performance
Yeah.
and people who are good at what they do and comedy and people who are successful.
Also like self-made and
Yeah.
just like local heroes. Like why wouldn't you?
Because because drag has been going on for longer than maybe you've known about drag.
That's true. And, you know, I feel like I obviously, as a lover of comedy, I love the comedy aspect of it. Like, how much of drag is comedy to you? Because there's singing, there's dancing, there's being fabulous,
Right.
there's dressing, there's making wardrobes, there's comedy. It's so many things.
So many facets.
And I wonder, like, how much of it is comedy to you?
It depends. It depends on who you're trying to be. Like, there's you know, like Bianca Del Rio, Trixie Mattel, Lady Bunny, Jinx Monsoon. Like, comedy is like rooted within their drag. For me, I love a comedy queen. Like, I love someone. Do I think I'm the funniest person? No. Do I think I'm pretty funny? Sure. And then there's, you know, some people that's like, oh shit, you don't know the first lick about a joke. Like, you couldn't.
Bad time.
For bad timing.
Right,
like,
yeah.
And that is, but that's just something that, like, you know, when I look at the people that I admire who are like comedic drag geniuses, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like, well, they, you know, have obviously like perfected their craft, but that is also a part of their drag, so it obviously means so much more to them than like the fashion girl who, you know, wants to like work in an atelier and create these high couture pieces. And then there's me who just wants to do
it all.
Yeah, do it all. I mean, we saw that in the match game where some people were bombing. I think it was the match game.
The Snatch game,
Snatch,
yeah.
And I can't tell if it's just the editing or if it's really not funny, but I'm like, oh man, that must be hard to be in front of
That-
everybody.
What that episode in particular is really odd, because that's the episode where we were having the fight we had to continue the fight off the top of that episode with Melinda. So typically you don't have this fight that is taking up, you know, X amount of time. So I felt like things had to get edited down in certain areas of that episode. Especially when it came to the Snatch game, because we had to figure out like, oh my God, well, what happened between Melinda and Venus? Like, what's the continuation? So that it was, I felt like you didn't get as much as like you would normally get, but because there were some moments I was like, oh my gosh, I'm surprised that wasn't in there, and some moments where it's like, oh, you should be very happy that they didn't put that in there, because there was definitely a few moments where we were like, what?
I'd
Not
love to
funny.
watch.
I would love to watch.
that
I would love to watch
live.
it too.
Yeah.
That is the most surreal thing to film on Drag Races is Snatch Game. It is so absolutely bizarre, and you're sweating profusely, and you're just like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Especially when, like, you know, the majority of people in the room are also feeling that way.
For
And we're
sure.
like,
That's a lot of pressure. I mean,
It's a
and
lot.
then I mean, I can't even remember lyrics of my favorite song, and then you guys like are performing all these songs, remember all the lyrics. I'm just always impressed by that. I don't know.
well,
So-
some of us.
Yeah, some.
Hey.
So you had humble beginnings. We know a couple of your previous jobs. Is it correct that you worked at Lush?
I've done a lot of weird jobs. I was a farmer.
A farmer. We didn't know that one.
I was a flight attendant.
We know this one.
Worked at Lush. Worked at a consignment store. Remember that?
Now, what kind of? Oh,
Remember that place?
consignment store.
FOEO. I did FOEO at Park Royal. Pinkberry.
Nice.
Oh, RIP.
Miss
I think it's shut
her.
down.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, Pinkberry's really good.
Superior. Also worked at Hollyburn Country Club.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's
Bougie.
must have been
Yeah,
very,
that's
very
super
nice. What were you doing there?
I was working.
The Froyo.
No, I was working for the Odlum Brown tournament. I was just driving.
Oh.
I was like the Gatorade refiller,
Oh, okay.
getting like ice.
Oh.
So much ice.
A lot of ice talk.
So much ice. And yeah, no, that was a great summer job. Making, I don't know, like almost $15 an hour.
Holy shit.
At like 13.
Yeah, that's
like
Way back.
striking the
Honey.
lottery.
yeah. You're renting like 2 movies at the Rogers
I'm buying
video.
meet and greet tickets to see Lady Gaga.
Oh.
And I did.
The flight attendant job. Now that seems like probably the best, most exciting job out of the few there.
For sure. Yeah.
Was it as good as it seems? I mean, you're flying all over, you're meeting people, you're staying in hotels.
Yeah.
Also a bit scary because you got to be on a
Love
plane.
it. I did. It was a time where there was like Air Canada Rouge, which was like they created a word vacation-y, the vacation-y airline, and that was really nice because we had Hawaii, Japan, Orlando, Vegas, like all these like really fun spots that would typically be, they would be flown by like really senior flight attendants. So there was like a bunch of like young 20-somethings going to like these like incredible destinations, getting to spend 3 days in Japan. Like, what the hell? Great time. Amazing time.
Is it all scary? Because I'm sitting in with a seatbelt and there's turbulence and start
I love
rocking
it.
and you love that.
Just love that shit.
Oh my God.
I did 3 rescue flights, particularly for hurricane or earthquakes. There was 2 earthquakes in Japan that I just happened to like. It's not like I was like, put me on the earthquake flight, like put me on those rescue flights. It was like I just happened to get these like earthquake rescue missions, and to fly on a 450 passenger plane with like 8 people is so fucking cool. Like going all the way to Japan, going to like rescue our peeps. Because that was like a 7 point something. Like that was like a decent magnitude of an earthquake.
You ever encounter any snakes on those planes? Or
I haven't seen Samuel.
that's not a real thing. No.
You ever deal with any, bad,
Unruly.
unruly people?
Yeah, anybody get kicked off?
You ever have to
I have.
saran wrap a person?
Oh my gosh. It's what do we do? The
the cable ties.
yeah,
Zip ties?
zip ties. Put him down, you. No, that would be kind of. I love the thrill.
Yeah.
Maybe it definitely sounds a little more thrilling than I'm sure it would be. But yeah, no, there was one guy that I guess was being like kind of creepy to a kid and was like saying weird things and was like, I don't even know what was happening. But anyways, we're like about to ascend and I just hear, stop the plane. And I was like, what the fuck? And anyways, yeah, we had to go back. Take him off.
Oh, in the middle.
No way.
You're already taking off. Jeez.
Yeah, and we had to like go back, get him the hell out of there.
No way.
Because we're not flying over the Pacific Ocean with some level 5 creep. Like
He was going to Japan?
we were going to Hawaii.
Oh, God.
Like, bye, babe.
Yeah. Jesus.
Gotta go. Which
Wow.
really sucks if you become that person because, and like I've had friends who like, not naming names, but like people who like secretly vape on planes. I'm like, do not do that. If they see you, like, you will be banned.
Oh,
And like that
shit.
would suck.
It's the lesser known movie, Vapes on a Plane.
My blueberry ice. Yeah, no. Great job though. So many snacks.
Yeah, and the farming job. What did you do on the farm?
I was picking vegetables.
Oh,
It was in Manitoba. I was a corn picker.
corn picker.
What?
Yeah, you're walking by the stalks picking off corn. Don't they have machines for that? Like, don't they just?
Not in
Not in that one?
rural Manitoba.
That's a
doing
hand-
like local. We're keeping things authentic.
Oh yeah.
And he what was his name? Roland Chapeau. He said I was his fastest corn picker. So
Now, what's the strategy? How
I'll
do you do
take
that?
it.
Resumes.
No
like,
fucks,
winner,
just-
drag queen, corn picker,
Tall, limber.
What do you do? You got a bucket in one hand and you're just...
No, like a sack.
oh, you got a sack on you.
Got a big corn sack.
So many innuendos.
This
flying
man
around.
was wild though. This man would eat raw ground beef
Oh, my God.
with
beef tartare.
chopped onions and salt and pepper.
There's French Canadians listening to this. Like, what are you talking about? So delicious. I'm eating
Literally,
right
I was like, not even cooked in the slightest. And I'm like, I'm sure this is his cow. All good, but I was just in awe.
But I mean, beef tartare, it's a thing.
I don't know if
Yeah,
personally knowing the
absolutely
cow
hate that.
matters either.
Yeah, I don't like beef tartare.
I like beef
like
carpaccio.
it.
I like flash frozen. That
I'll
seems
eat
nice.
it. Give me something raw.
No.
but
If
like
you
an
say it's
egg,
good.
like a raw egg in there too.
Oh,
Like,
sure.
I'll do a
I'll
raw.
eat it.
I'll do raw fish. That's
That's-
my line.
sushi though, not just like any old fish.
No, like I'll like be like a grizzly bear and just
Yeah.
perch at the top of a creek.
Speaking of sacks, I want to segue into something that's pretty important here. Jason had an important question for you.
What
We
is
all
this?
had an important question, actually. You have some photos that you post that there's some
This is
prominence in these photos.
Oh.
Sometimes you're wearing sweatpants in these photos. And
feeding.
you instill a lot of confidence.
Feeding the audience.
Instill a lot of confidence in these photos. We want to know about the tucking, and we've heard that you've had some incidents, or what is?
I think we have to go back and describe what is tucking and why is it so important
Yes,
for the
yes.
audience.
Let's get the backstory, the
The
context.
science of it, and then we got to go into your approach.
Okay. So
This is the educational portion of the podcast now.
not typically, but people view, I guess, most people would assume that drag is the art of female impersonation, which is not incorrect, but it's not all that drag is. But that is where, partially where drag comes from. So a part of that is tucking your penis to create the illusion of a vagina or whatever, nothing of just not having a penis. And the way that you do that is you would take notoriously Gorilla Glue tape. And
Good tape. That's good.
That's
tape.
good tape.
Yeah, I can't think of a stronger
Is
tape.
it?
I mean,
I don't know. We'll get into it.
I got a lot of tape in the room.
we
We
got
could talk
tape
tape
talk.
for hours.
So tuck tape is usually what it's called. And you are, I'm sure none of you know this, but there's little pockets where you can put your balls inside of yourself.
Oh, yeah. It may have
so-
happened by accident one time.
Yeah,
I just
probably.
get really cold and
and they just
Yeah.
go right on
We're
up.
not working with a lot to begin with, so our pockets are smaller.
So we've got those little pockets, right? You're gonna want to put them up there, and then you take, your penis and you go sort of between your crack,
The cheeks, yeah.
the cheeks, and that sort of keeps the nuts up there. And then you're gonna take the tape and really
Gorilla tape.
Yeah.
Sounds
So
awful.
I would recommend pre-stripping your strips, pre-tearing the strips of the tape
Fair enough.
to have handy.
Is there
But
like
then
a,
again, I don't do this. I
yeah,
did
right.
do this. I did do this. Perhaps someone should have told me to shave.
That seems important.
oh,
That seems
fair.
important,
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that didn't happen. And then other things happened. And then I said, you know what? No. This isn't for me. And I also was just like, why do we do this? Like, I'm not necessarily trying to convince you that I don't have a penis. And ultimately, I just want to be comfortable. And, you know, it's been great because there's been so many people that come up to me that are like, I don't tuck because of you. And like, for me, it's like about normalizing people's, you know, right over their body and just wanting to like, I don't feel like I need to, I don't know. I don't feel like I need to have this sense of illusion to like validate my drag. But there's also like tucking panties now that are like really good that pretty much do the same thing. And sometimes I will wear those. I don't not always not tuck, but like there's a time and a place.
Tucking panties. And what do those look like? Are they just like really tight, like Spanx or?
They're just like a little bit wider in the where you need to hold up the nuts.
That's a great business.
Oh, she's like
crushing it, I'm sure.
Shout out to Tuck It Up.
Literally.
Oh, she's yeah.
I relate because if I go to a hotel room and the bed's already tucked, I can't. It's so uncomfortable, you know. I always
You have to untuck it.
I always have to untuck it.
Yeah, those ones are hard. Hey.
Yeah.
Like when you're trying to like lift, you're like in bed trying to, and you're like, what the fuck?
Oh, that is actually
extra
the worst.
Gorilla Grip.
Who wants that? Who's that for?
You ever get into the bed and you almost get claustrophobic because you can't get the sheets off. And you're like,
Yeah.
what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a mummy.
Dying a Ramada in.
I need my feet out, you know?
Well, I mean, I don't tuck in the same way, but technically I'm tucking when I put on my like beneath underwear because it's got the pocket, the Saks underwear, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of doing some tuckage.
Your beneath underwear?
Beneath the brand or like Saks or whatever.
They got the
my-
the ball pouch. The
ball pouch,
yeah.
yes.
Built in.
Okay.
I don't think that's tucking.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm doing a little bit of
Holding.
this, like triangulation,
Yeah.
trying to get
Coddling.
it in there.
Caught on.
It's like genital
gateway.
management or something, you know?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So don't tuck.
Unless
Or
you
tuck.
want it.
Unless you want to.
Yeah.
You want to.
But you know, there's some. I know one girl. She uses Gorilla Glue adhesive
Glue?
spray. Okay.
She's got to have an assistant for that. How do
I
you do
also
that on your
have
own?
like, you know, I have a hood. You know, some people I would probably assume that perhaps it's a little easier if you don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's just certain things.
Yeah.
Genetic. Well, I already let people know that on my entrance sign. Anyways, this is not new information, but yeah, it's just a no for me.
Now, what color tape would these people normally go for? Because when I think Gorilla Tape, I'm thinking like
You should
Matt
use
Matt
clear.
likes tape.
You should use clear.
clear, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I was using black.
Because I mean, there's black. Isn't there like bright orange and then
Oh,
there's
you
clear?
could get, honey, you could get whichever
Caution tape, stripes.
cow print.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be kind of fun, actually.
Oh man. So how like it must be a pretty common thing where you're like walking by the bathroom and you just hear
I got you. No.
no.
Surprisingly, like
Oh.
the girls do that at home.
Oh, okay.
That's
all right.
before.
That's home time behavior. And like
Okay.
I said,
Oh, I
like
was thinking like the dressing room or something. I don't know. Home time. Okay.
yeah, no. I mean, the dressing room is more of like a. No, you come dressed.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Typically,
Okay.
for chance.
Now these photos that you're posting, are you still posting these? Are these? I mean, these must do well for you. You get a lot of engagement. Is this okay that we're talking about this?
Yes, no, it's
How's-
funny. No, because this has been a particular like thought process for myself, being like, do you know that video, who is it, of like Monique? She's like, is this who we are? Is this who we've become? I sort of play that reaction video in my head post win. Because there was a comment on Twitter, which I'm currently not on because fuck
X.
Twitter.
Fuck X and
Fuck
Twitter.
X.
Well, it's still
respectively.
twitter.com.
Oh.
But yes, X to that place. But no, someone was like, oh, what did they say? Oh, the word was it was like, control yourself, queen. You are now royalty or something. And it was like, pardon me? I was like, oh, okay. I guess I am. And I was like, must I, you know, cover my ankles and, you know, like,
Yeah, where does it end?
get my fucking handmaid's coat on? I was like, I mustn't be a hoe anymore. But like you said, like the engagement really does pop off when, you know, that
But isn't
snake
that
is on the plane.
the
and
reference?
yeah.
But isn't that part of who you were? And that's how you got to where you are.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that should be celebrated.
It should. And I think it's but that person at the same time, like for me, like I don't really care when people say certain things like that because it allows me to explore conversation that maybe I wouldn't explore previous, or just like, you know, I think it's important to be like, do I want to continue to present myself in this way? Because yes, that is fun. And ultimately the answer is yes, because I'm attracted to that when other people do that. And I also like that as a part of my brand. But there comes moments where I'm like, you know, what is the fine line where certain brands might see this big? Maybe not.
Yeah, once the corporations get involved, then you're like,
but
maybe, I don't know.
I've worked with many brands that like that has not been an issue.
Trojan.
Yes, they're like more. Please. More.
Trojan,
No,
Lush Cosmetics, Sage, even. It's like, you know, these are brands that's like it's not like those things don't really matter.
Air Canada Rouge.
Champion sweatpants.
Corn on
You
the
know,
cob.
well, maybe not, because I'm trying to collect these Aeroplan points. I'm trying to get my
Yes.
25K status.
Shout out Airplane.
Well, I mean, it's like people are thrown off by that, but then like you go to the the explore page and it's like women showing their booty and their titties. And it's
but
like,
men get away with a lot more on Instagram. I think.
Everybody's so much.
But you know, it's interesting because people what I found, which I just found interesting from the show and the reaction when the show was airing, was so many people were like, "This isn't drag. You're not doing drag because you're not doing X, Y, and Z." And I'm like, well, actually, you're not doing drag because you're not on fucking Drag Race, honey. Like, you don't make the rules. And ultimately, do we not listen to fucking RuPaul when she was like, we're all born naked and the rest is just drag? Like, get real. Like, I know you have an idea of what you think a drag queen should look like, but I'm not that. And I'm here to like, guess disrupt that and just let people know that this is not the only thing that exists within this space. I don't feel there's a time and a place where I want to put on hip pads and I want to, you know, wear a big wig and, you know, tuck. But I don't always want to do that because that's just not me.
You gotta tell them to untuck their expectations. You know?
Literally untuck. But that was like just one that was like everywhere. And I was like, oh my God, girl, like this isn't drag. I'm like, okay. Well, a lot of other people think it is.
So, yeah, I mean, you just got to express yourself. And we wanted to touch on another thing, is expressing yourself as a two-spirited person.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you? Please educate us, because as three cis white males running a podcast, we need some educating.
Well, let me
please.
tell you what I think first.
So hard ice.
Okay,
We got Hard Ice by Venus. Damn.
Well,
What an
two-spirit
honor.
is a term specifically for Indigenous people, for Indigenous people, used by Indigenous people. And ultimately for me, and, you know, I never want to speak for like a collective of people, but two-spirit is really the concept, I guess, or, you know, the understanding that we are not just feminine or masculine. And that goes, you know, that can go for everyone, but it's called certain things in different cultures. And really knowing that, like, especially when we look at Indigenous culture, it's like there is a respect for the feminine and the masculine and, you know, all in between. And two-spirit people, you know, we're highly regarded within, you know, different nations and tribes as like wisdom keepers, and, you know, these people who, because they see both, I guess, see both sides or see beyond this, you know, this binary. It's like powerful, wise people. And yeah, so myself, just, I have always felt, you know, not just one or the other, but like always in this influx, in this space of like, there's definitely moments where it's like, yeah, I love being like hyper masculine, or, you know, my idea of what that may look like visually. And then obviously with drag and other aspects of my life, I want to be more feminine. I want to have, you know, those, you know, and then some days I don't want to be either. So yeah, that's a little bit about Two Spirit. And somewhere in my calendar there, I believe next week or in 2 weeks, there's a Two Spirit Day happening in Vancouver that I will be attending.
That's cool.
And yeah, very nice to connect with other Two Spirit people. So yeah, I guess in relativity, you can it can be relative to non-binary, sort of.
Or is it like gender fluid too?
Yeah, but it's like none of those things at the same time.
It's its own thing as well.
Yeah. So
You mentioned on that Drag Race healed your inner child. What are you doing now that reminds you of your childhood?
I love when Nelly Furtado was like, "That's hot." That line was so hot. What am I doing now to heal my inner child?
No, what are you doing nowadays?
Like, fuck, that's a big one.
What are you doing nowadays that reminds you of your, you know, inner child? What is that? I'm just curious what that means to you.
What reminds me? I think right now I'm just in a moment of exploration. I feel like when we're children, it's like we're so, you know, we just want to explore and experience. And, you know, now that has all happened and, you know, like have achieved this like tremendous goal, I really just want to like explore more, because I felt like there was a moment there where I was like, oh, well, I don't want to switch things up right before I go on Drag Race. And now's not the time to explore. Now's the time to like, you know, stick to what I know. But, you know, just creatively and like with my makeup and even with my performance style, like just expand. And I continue to have that like childlike wonder of like not getting stuck and wanting to, you know, keep evolving. And I've been doing that over the past couple of weeks, and it's just been so exciting to like be like, oh, this is really cool. This is a different like side of myself that I haven't allowed myself to explore before, because I think typically with my drag, I've wanted to stick with like the hyper feminine and like the hot girl, which I love, but there's also other things that I would like to see for myself.
What are you working on right now? What do you think you need improvements on?
Ooh. I think performance that is definitely an area that I'm wanting to work more on.
Performance in what way? I mean, because you have a great stage presence.
Thank you.
You walk in the room and your star power is there. It's present. You know, I can see it on a TV screen.
Right. Well, thank you. I think it's like, again, sometimes with drag, you're just like splits and dips and all this. And it's like, I'm not that girl. So like trying to find what kind of like, just wanting to evolve my performance style of like, I think I've always because that's what you typically see at the club, and that's what you're so exposed to, is like, okay, well, I have to be that. And I'm like, well, maybe I'm not that. Like, because when I do, one of my favorite numbers to perform is Maybe This Time, which is like a Broadway number, which like, not really a Broadway queen, but like getting to do like numbers that, you know, is more of like more of a storytelling aspect to it, than me trying to be like this, you know, fucking incredible dancer that maybe I just won't become. And that's okay, because I kind of want to like, you know, evolve into something where I just want to be able to feel very comfortable in like what I'm performing. And yeah, so exploring more of that for sure. Well, but I'm going to take a dance lesson. I'm also going to do that too. Ooh. Because that could be fun too. And that continues with like the childlike wonder, is like, I don't know, go to a fucking dance class and see what happens.
And
What kind of dancing?
Yeah.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, have I tried enough? Do I know? Like, there's so many different ways to interpret dance too, right? So like maybe my thinking has just been like too rigid up until this moment. So wanting to enter a space where it's like, I don't know, rent out a studio for an hour or two and just fucking dance and see what happens.
We might need some dance lessons soon too, Jason. Getting
What?
married in the next year or so.
Oh, yeah.
Brooke and I are now
boxed
engaged,
up.
and I'm fearful of our first dance. So let us know if your instructor is good, because
Yes.
hopefully it's not
What kind of
hip-hop
dance are you gonna
dancing.
do?
Hip hop.
Yeah, I'm like,
That's
come
what
up
we
with the
need.
full like routine.
Yeah,
All the choreo.
Superman them hoes on the.
Oh, Jesus.
Yes.
One last question before we play a game.
Yeah. This is
my God, fun.
What is the craziest thing that's happened on stage in your day?
Like to me, from me.
To you, from you,
See.
around you.
you were on the stage.
You were on the stage. Things were happening. Things got crazy.
I mean, I'm just crazy. Like I've done like nude shows. I guess that's not really crazy though. I just did I think my craziest one is when I poured, how many liters was that?
Maple syrup? What the fuck was it?
It was like 8 liters of Hershey's chocolate sauce.
Oh, Valentine's Day?
Nope.
Oh.
Summertime, baby.
Man, they should be a sponsor.
Labor
of
Day.
yours.
It was, Pride. And if we know, like Christina Milian, Dip It Low, in the video, she's like getting covered in chocolate sauce around like a bunch of people. It's just like, that was like definitely a pivotal, I love music videos. I mean, and I remember seeing that being like, bitch, I need to be that. I need to do that. And then I was like, well, I can. Yeah.
We just did another podcast. We had a music video director on, and he said he actually tried to cast you, and then they got your rate card, and they couldn't afford it. So you're doing well.
Must be
good.
recent. Must be
Not
recent.
that it was recent. And he said, "Oh damn, well, okay, well that makes sense."
Yeah. Well, hey, you know, gotta put a price on it.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
exponential growth after that 100K.
Yeah. Maybe a music video coming from me soon.
Oh, exciting! Produced by Furtado, perhaps.
Oh
any-
gosh, I could only hope.
That would be.
Wouldn't that be something?
Should I play a game?
Yeah. You want to play a game?
Yeah.
All right. You have headphones
yeah,
on,
yeah.
so I'll explain it.
Okay.
It's a game called This or That. We're gonna ask
Okay.
you one question with 2 answers, either this or that.
Yeah.
And you can answer them as quickly or take as long as you want. But we have like 20-ish questions. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna play the music. so
Oh, you don't
know.
have the intense music in the air, but
There's
pretend,
intense,
who wants
intense
to-
music's gonna play.
that's fine. You don't need it.
Okay.
It's intense for us.
Question 1. It's very intense. Bad wig or bad makeup?
No,
It's a heater.
it's intense. I told you.
You know, a lot of people would say that I have bad makeup.
Oh, What?
Well, you can zoom in. I look really fucking good today. Um,
I thought you had the best makeup on the show. Just saying, but I'm not an expert, not a judge. I'm just buying you more time. Think about it.
bad wig. Bad wig.
Not knowing the lyrics or not knowing the choreo?
Not knowing the choreo.
Early mornings or late nights?
Trying to change, but currently late nights.
Acting challenge or design challenge?
Acting.
Snatch game or musical?
Rusical.
Dick size nipples or nipple size dick?
Uh-oh, she's frozen.
You can wear a sweatshirt, so
You can tuck however you'd like, or not.
Not a lot of pockets up there.
No, that sounds so uncomfortable. I'm going for nipple-sized dick. That no, no,
Good answer. Good
no.
answer. I'm with you.
Getting into drag or getting out of drag?
It's always like the pre-thought of having to get into drag, but then you start getting into drag. You're like, oh, love this.
But what about the relief of taking it off. Oh, finally get to take all this off.
I don't know, but in today's person, getting into drag, had a lot of fun today.
Always feel like someone is watching you, or always feeling like you forgot something important?
Forgot.
Travel back in time or to the future?
You can come back. Just a little visit.
Okay, just a visit.
Yeah, just to see what's up.
Love to know what's next. So future.
Wig reveal or outfit reveal?
Outfit reveal.
Too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
Would you rather be 4 feet tall or 8 feet tall?
8 feet.
Long wig or short wig?
Huh. Short wig. Oh no, long wig. Long wig because you can cut it short.
Oh, nice.
Smart. Just breaking the game.
No arms or no legs?
Guys. I need my arms.
Oh, yeah.
Gown or bodysuit?
Oh, she does love a gown. She does love a gown.
Man eater or turn off the light?
Ooh. Man eater.
Every time.
Tipping or no tipping on takeout?
I'm a tipper.
Oh, just got 100K in the bank.
Respect service workers.
There you go.
Fair enough.
Fucker.
Ketchup on the side or directly on the fries?
Side.
Fran Drescher or Joe Exotic?
Definitely want to hang out with Fran Drescher.
Pia Marble or Poopa Baseball?
Well, you know,
It's okay. It's not going to happen.
I know, but
Well,
it could.
Behind that door.
The Lady Gaga photo.
She's back. Oh, so weird. Poopa baseball.
One of our last guests said he poops in baseball every day, so that.
Oh my gosh! Wow. Well, might need to get that checked out. But
Yes.
And finally,
oh,
Sashay away or Shantae, you stay.
Venus, you are the winner of Canada's Drag Race. I prefer that
Not neither.
one. Neither.
Well done. Well done.
Well done.
Oh.
So, what's up for the future? You gonna spend any time at Wreck Beach this summer? We know you love Wreck Beach.
Fuck, do I ever. I love a beach. Maybe not as much beach time this year, but definitely have plans of bringing the beach from me to you in some way. See, I'm trying to drop some hints here.
Just throwing sand at people. Or?
Bachelor in Paradise?
When
What are
is
we talking
when is
about?
this? Also, when is this airing?
In
2 weeks?
next week.
What? Oh, next week.
Okay.
Someone got bumped, right?
Yeah.
Is that what that means? Damn.
But preparing for something very, very big and very iconic.
We're not talking sweatpant photos.
More of those,
But we're not
more,
talking.
Yeah,
so-
but not that, not no. And yeah, just getting ready for a busy season. Maybe a song.
Yeah, that's cool.
Maybe
a lot of things.
Maybe
There's
a lot-
probably
maybe-
of things in the
maybe
future
a
that
lot
you don't
of
even know
things.
are coming your way yet.
But surely looking good, smelling good, and spending cash.
Damn.
That's in the future.
Are you investing this cash? Is there any like people saying like,
Oh my God.
Venus, you
Yes,
gotta
my
put your money
sister sent
away.
me a text yesterday and was like, so just want to make sure that you have X, Y, and Z. And I do. And yes, working there.
What's X, Y, and Z? Is RRSPs? What? Now this is the second
Investing,
educational part.
making sure you have a 3-month, financial
The rainy day
backup.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just been very I've treated myself to love of designer glasses. So bought a couple designer shades, but other than that,
Well, you can resell those, or they
Yeah.
might even become an investment.
exactly.
Yeah, the clicker. ones.
But I've been very just wanting to take my time and figure out what I want to do with that. But, you know, I want to create a little something, a little business. Because how do you stay rich? Gotta make
get
a
rich
business.
first.
Gotta get rich first.
Yeah.
And then you gotta get a business.
Yeah.
So she does have a business license and a couple of ideas, and I can't wait to
That's cool.
see them come through.
Well, you're killing it. So keep killing it. We love to watch you, and you are fire everywhere you go. And hopefully we can come see a show. Any shows coming up that people can come see you?
Yes. Well, this will be happening by the time that this probably comes out. But next week, we're doing a big show at the Commodore on the next Friday, which will be super, super fun. And then
What's the show?
It's called It's Just Drag. And then after that, I'll be away for a little bit. But when I come back, I have plans of doing, I don't know if it's going to be a one-woman show just yet, but possibly a one-woman show at the Junction. Because I haven't done a home bar show yet, and I miss it. You know, I miss performing back on, you know, known territory.
Home so.
Yeah.
So you all recharged after Mexico? You ready to go? Or?
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
But self-care, you're taking care?
Yeah. We're taking probiotics, vitamins, water, rest,
Taking water.
marijuana,
Good combo.
and
In that order.
a little bit of microdosing. So
Very cool.
that has been
Microdosing education is what you're saying?
right.
Yes. That's the only thing we smoke on this program.
That's the only thing we microdose is success. That's
All
a
right.
macro dose.
That's a macro dose.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Venus. It was an honor to
Thank
have
you.
you. And best of luck. We'll see you out there.
See you out
And
there.
that's a podcast, everybody. Thanks for listening. Please remember to leave us some love in the comments. Give us a review. And if you want to hear yourself on the podcast, leave us a voicemail.
Speakpipe.
Speakpipe.com/feeding off each other. Is that the link?
Yep.
Speakpipe.com/feeding off each other. Laying pipe in the pod. And as always. No. Are you metaphorically full, Venus? Sorry, we're freaking you out.
No.
Are you metaphorically full?
No.
It says feeding off each other. Oh, she's too busy nomming. All right, she's full. No.
Thank you for listening to Feeding Off Each Other. Please subscribe for more great podcasts.